So, all right. Well, thank you guys all for being here. As always, I know how busy and chaotic and crazy the life of an agent is, and so for you to take time out of your day to show up and to be here and work, not in your business but on your business, that is never lost on me. So thank you for taking some time with us today. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you. So as we always do in our sales meetings, we're going to open with our system of beliefs, our WI4 C2Ts. So take a look at this list, and I'd love for, I mean, it's such a full room today. I'm going to ask for 3 volunteers today to let the rest of the room know how the system of beliefs manifested itself in your business over the last month or so since our last sales meeting. Not everybody all at once. Tracy?
I'll go with communication.
Yeah.
Think first to understand. I just had an issue where it was a lack of communication between the buyer, myself, and the listing agent. The buyer did not understand what possession date meant. He didn't know that what a per diem meant. He said he understood. I talked to him. The listing agent actually was at the house during the inspection because it was his house. He was selling his. So he even talked to him about like, thank you for letting me, do the rent back and I'm paying. And the communication was that his cousin was also a realtor, but she's in Baltimore trying to apply those rules.
Oof. Gotcha.
So he's coming to me saying, well, she said this. I said, but that doesn't apply in Ohio. That doesn't apply in Ohio. Yeah. And so the communication was, he wanted the guy out the house on possession day and not give them the per diem.
Gotcha. Oof, gotcha.
And then we had a 3-way call yesterday, and with the listing agent, the cousin who's in Baltimore, and the buyer. Well, a 4-way call. I'm sorry.
Yep.
And he explained like how disappointed he was during the transaction, and the buyer was like, "Well, I didn't understand," and I was like, "Well, if you had said that the first time I said it to you, and when he said it to you." Instead of listening to you,
yeah,
we could have got this resolved in a better.
Great point. That's the reason we have the national test and the state test,
yes.
Right? Because rules and policies are different. Thank you, Tracy. Appreciate it. 2 more.
Oh, integrity, do the right thing. I just sold one of my own listings, had a buyer come through unrepresented. This buyer is somebody I've worked with in the past, representing them. Kind of on another multifamily they bought where it was a past seller or a past buyer of mine, they're selling and I put the deal together off market. And so I've never really represented this buyer, but so it's my listing, he wants to buy it. And I don't know him anything as I'm representing the seller, but
yeah,
there's, new, let's say laws in Cleveland, multifamily rental. So I thought this is, how would I want to be treated? I just, can disclose, okay, this is going to be a thing. We didn't have to, it doesn't have to be done to transfer the property, but it's going to be an issue.
Yeah. When
you go to rent it, I just didn't want to, I wouldn't want to be in that position. I always got to come out of pocket thousands of dollars to pass and eventually remediate. So we just disclosed and it wasn't an issue for him. And so we'll, take care of that later. But
yeah,
just thinking about like, what does this look like next week, next month, 3 months, 6 months, I'm not wanting to, and again, I didn't know him anything, and maybe you could say, well, my fiduciary duty is the seller, but, and
sometimes you gotta do the right thing,
it's just, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a fine line between representing your seller and doing the right thing.
Yeah. Well, and, client for life too. That person never sells that home or buys another property, Look at you being a good guy, Jeremy. I knew you had it in you.
Once in a
while. All right, let's do one more. Brian.
I'm going to do one about teamwork. I know it sounds cheesy, but I did just join a huge team that the support is unbelievable. And it's not.
Tell me more about that.
It's not cutthroat yet.
Yeah.
Until I take a few of them out.
Give it a month.
We won't let that get back to Amherst. Yeah, it's just amazing. Part of a good team.
I love that. I love that for you. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. Good stuff. No awkward silences today. Everybody's so sharing. So must be getting closer to our gratitude gathering and our November stuff. So, okay. So, just so you're aware, I do have a career night tonight here in Lakewood at 6 o'clock in this room. And then we have a virtual career night as well tomorrow at 6 o'clock on Zoom. I'll be facilitating both of those career nights. So if you're interested in growing your downline, sponsoring someone to come work at Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan, if you have anybody in your network that is interested in getting licensed, getting their real estate license and entering the business part-time or full-time, these would be two great opportunities for that. Also, you'll see a new partnership on the board today as well called K-Score. So K-Score is a program that's exclusive to Keller Williams franchises. So not just Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan, but all Keller Williams. And it's essentially a way for us to give new agents entering into the business, full scholarships for their licensing classes. We've partnered with Kaplan University, which is an online professional licensing school. Online, if an agent or a future agent were to just go to Kaplan and purchase the plan for pre-licensing, it's $799. With a 12-month commitment to stay with Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan after licensing, we're basically discounting that $800 down to zero to make the licensing no cost to the agents. So maybe if that was a barrier, when I got licensed in 2022, it was $1,800 to do Honduras online, and I didn't have any discounts because I didn't have an affiliation with a brokerage yet. And so if that's a barrier to people starting a business in real estate, you can openly share that information with your networks, your friends, your family. I would encourage you not to use the word free classes because that's kind of a no-no. Like, it's not free classes. They have an opportunity for a scholarship. They need to have a one-on-one with me to talk about their current real estate and attend a career event. A career event would be a one-on-one jumpstart meeting with me, or a career night qualifies them as well. So if you have anybody that wants to get started in real estate and go that path, I would just encourage you to reach out to me. There's an online intake form, and that kind of starts the process. That Stephanie and I are getting intimately familiar with this whole Kaplan thing. So it's new, so I encourage patience through the process. But it is a great, removing of a barrier, a financial barrier. We also make sure that they know fully that that's not just the only expense in getting your real estate license. It's not the license and then you just do everything for free. Obviously, as you all know, there's a lot of expenses that go into current real estate, but this is eliminating a barrier for some of our new agents. Does anybody have any questions on K-Score, Kaplan, any of that before we move on?
You pay for that upfront or you get reimbursed, or there's just?
That's a great question. So they don't pay for it upfront. As they go through the process, I give them, if they qualify for the sponsorship, for the not sponsorship, the thank you, sponsorship. If they qualify, then I give them a discount code that when they go to Kaplan University to register, they apply the discount code and it lowers the $800 package to zero. So they can get started for no money down. Cool.
As far as.
Yeah, and we don't charge, say, if they take the test 3 times and they give up, we don't ask for our money back or anything like that. We've had enough of a success rate through this program. Keller Williams Realty International has had enough success rate with this program that it makes it worth it for the partnership to be able to provide this for agents. So.
And what are the qualifications? Is there like an income qualification?
There's no other qualifications outside of normal qualifications to get a real estate license, GED or equivalent high school diploma, no felonies on your record, those types of things. So luckily for me, speeding tickets are still okay. I'm like, look, you ever look up yourself on Forewarned and see all the stuff that's on there? 23 driving infractions, my 16. Crazy, but I'm way safer now. So, any other questions before we move on? So that's tonight at 6 o'clock local here, and tomorrow 6 o'clock virtual on Zoom. Some upcoming trainings that we have going on. So the November training calendar is live. It's available in your email. And then we have copies. Kelly has copies at the front desk out there as well. A lot of stuff that's coming up, a lot of really, really cool stuff. The first thing that's coming up is this coming Thursday, both sides of town in both locations at the same time. Our productivity coaches are hosting Get One More Deal in 2025. So not including deals that you already have under contract now, get one more deal on top of whatever it is you're doing. So this is going to be a very strategic lead generation time where we're going to learn some specifics from Wesley around what it's going to take to get one more deal in escrow before the end of the year. Because like right now, like I know that I joked when I said 9 weeks to Christmas, but like deals you put in contract right now are like your Christmas money, right? I told that to my wife Rachel a couple days ago, and I was like, I gotta put one more deal in contract. I gotta figure something out here. So, I don't know if you guys have heard of Lauren Lucas, but this is probably the training that I'm most excited about for our brokerage because it's something that has been asked for quite a few times. And although I would love to do an AI training, like I haven't necessarily felt qualified because I'm still learning a lot myself. That being said, Lauren Lucas is like kind of a go-to person in Ohio. She spoke and did a workshop at Summer Masterminds last year, and her whole team is leveraging AI and just like 10xing their business by utilizing chatbots and AI and all the buzzwords. And so she's going to be doing a 3-hour training a week from today from 9:30 to 9:30 to 12:30. Keep me quiet, please. I'm trying to talk. From 9:30 to 12:30 right here in this room. So if you're interested in learning AI and how to leverage that to grow your business from someone other than me who's like piecemealing it together, I highly recommend this. I attended her workshop during Summer Masterminds, and some of the things that she covered that day just absolutely blew my mind. Like these things like weren't even on my radar for the technological capabilities of how AI can assist you grow your business. And it's just changing so quickly and moving so fast. So cool. So I'll be there. I hope that you are too. Let's see. This is one of the new slides that got added. So tune in to this value session, remargin your business expense management. Mike Rapaski's hosting this next Thursday on Zoom, 12 p.m. and live caption, look at that. Where to start, what to trim, how to run a business, a profitable business. Probably a lot of like red light, green light with your expenses and looking at your P&L. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then our gratitude gathering is coming up this month as well, November 19th from 5:30 to 7:30 at, it's going to be at Cross Country Mortgage's downtown office. Did anybody who went to the gratitude gathering last year? Was it pretty cool? Yes. So like to give you like a little teaser, Cross Country Mortgage's corporate office downtown is pretty awesome. It's pretty impressive. So they have this really like contemporary, like new age conference room, right? With like glass doors. And then the back wall of the conference room doesn't look like the door to a speakeasy, but you literally open one of these doors to the conference room and walk into like a speakeasy bar that's right in there. And so that is going to be, hopefully, now that I've said all this stuff, hopefully that's where it's going to be again in that speakeasy. I'm like 99% sure that's where it's going to be. But food, drinks, cocktails, and just an opportunity to share gratitude with our agents, our leadership team, and our vendors. So hope to see you guys all there for that. And then our Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan Holiday Party as well is coming up. Is that Pandora plan?
No, I think it's just a live caption from the Zoom. Or maybe it's.
I was like, how am I going to compete with Backstreet Boys here? Except they're like coming across the street. Our holiday party, December 11th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Garino's Restaurant in Little Italy. Who's been to Garino's? Super cool, cute restaurant. Yeah. So all the food, all the wine, and obviously some great fellowship with our agents as well. So hope to see you guys all at that. Oh, Kelly, what'd you do?
Yeah.
It's okay. And then tickets to Family Reunion in February are now on sale. If you're interested, I would love to see everybody there. If you're interested in it, scan the QR code. It's February 21st through the 24th. We already got a really cool group of people that are going. But if you've never been to Family Reunion, anywhere between 10 and 15,000 agents descend on a city somewhere in the US. Last year it was in Vegas, this year it's in Atlanta. And it's just 4 days of keynote speakers, workshops, anything real estate that you could possibly wrap your head around. There will be something for it at Family Reunion. So hope to see you there for that.
I would say too, if
Yeah.
you're thinking about going, prices can go up if you wait too long to buy a ticket. So buy your ticket sooner rather than later.
Do you know when prices go up?
I don't. I know early bird prices have already closed,
Okay,
but I don't know when the prices will go up again.
thank you for that. Appreciate it. Don't wait till January. All right, that's all my stuff. Thank goodness. That seemed like a lot. Partner updates. We have two lovely individuals here today from Ohio Real Title. You want to come on up? Janelle and Jen, thanks you guys for being here so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
Of course. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Chris. So Jen is kind enough to let me kind of take the reins today. My name is Janelle Kiefer. I'm the East Side rep. And Jen O'Malley, obviously you know her. She's thebomb.com.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's sweet.
Yeah. Well, the reason I'm here is I have two guys from Lakewood High School showing me. We have Joey, come on, stand on up. Joey wants to get into sales. And then we have Aaron, come on up. Aaron wants to become a realtor. So I figured you guys can have the same thing. I figured what a perfect opportunity to come to. Number one, Keller Williams is outstanding. All these trainings, there are no other brokerages like it. I mean, bar none, hands down. So, Aaron, maybe you want to get in that case score once you graduate. Okay, I already wrote that down for you. Anyway, so, passive income. Can anyone give me an example of passive income that you have in your industry or personally?
Rental properties.
Thank you. Rental properties. Downline?
Profit share tree.
Profit share tree, right?
401k.
401k. Awesome. There's
Joint
one.
venture groups.
Well, I should just go back. So there's one that really holds near and dear to our hearts, which is a joint venture. Obviously, we're partners with Keller Williams with Ventureland Title, it's an ABA. You may or may not have had an opportunity to work with us, but including the ABAs, obviously you get paid off the quarterly dividends off of some of the title revenue. 49% of the title revenue of the business is divided up shares. But what's more important, and really why I like to bring this up, is because it's a true partnership and a relationship. So anybody who's ever interested in ABA on the west side, Jen would be your person, your point person. If you have any referrals on the east side, that'd be somebody I would take care of. But the money, the dividends, it's just icing on the cake. You really have a one-on-one kind of, it's not a concierge service, but I know how Jen works. I know how I work. When you have an issue with clients, we're the ones who handle it for you. We're the ones who would go to for resources to help you build your business and elevate your clients' experience in title and escrow. So thank you so much for the opportunity. Those that are already with us, for those that are maybe with a competitor, we'd love an opportunity to work with you, or at least talk apples to oranges. And Jen does a great job of that. So thanks, guys.
That's just to know. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. That's great information. I appreciate you guys saying that. So just like quarterly money, you guys pay quarterly dividends?
Yeah.
Annual, quarterly? Yeah. So, and we have Jennifer Rennick from APHW. Thanks for being here, Jennifer. Appreciate it.
No, a new face then. So we are the partner for this. You, I haven't met a lot of you, it looks like here today, for Keller Williams as the home warranty partner. Please reach out. I'll make sure I have business cards for those of you I haven't talked to yet. We can definitely schedule a one-on-one because this is what I'm seeing in the field. We're in furnace season. So all of your clients who purchased a home, spring, summer, early fall, are turning the furnace on for the first time. Lots and lots of failures are happening. My phone is ringing off the hook right now. The other thing I'm seeing is that the home buyers cannot afford to make the repairs, replace it, and they are really struggling right now. I've had several cross my desk this week. It was a hard time. The good thing is with our program, because we allow the homeowner to choose their own contractor, we can pay the contractor directly for the portion of that that we are going to cover. And we can do so over the phone with a credit card immediately, just like we're paying an invoice. So the contractor can get paid right away. It'll help offset that cost. Then the buyer just has what their portion is left. We can also do reimbursement if they just want to pay it in full as well. But I just want to let you know that this is something that I really want you to think about when you're having these conversations with your sellers and buyers about how important the home warranty is. We're not paying anything 100% usually. It is an offset just to help with the budget. But that little bit of money, that $2,000, $500, $1,000, $1,200, whatever it is really helping to alleviate the pain of having to come off that money right after purchasing a home for the buyers. And let's be honest, a lot of people right now are in just the state where they don't have an emergency savings plan. They don't have a plan for when things go wrong in their house. That is where we come into play. Because you have me here locally, it's very easy and quick for me to get things done. I can turn around a claim usually in 24 hours. There's no waiting as long as the homeowner gets their contractor out there right away. And I am easily accessible to help navigate through that should you need anything. So I just want you to think about having these conversations as, we get into this. Now you got to think about we're getting into winter. So what's going to happen if your client's buying now? They're not going to check their AC unit. So come next summer, they start to turn them on. So just think about these conversations. If you're not sure how to have these conversations with your buyers or sellers, please reach out to me. I've been in real estate for over 20 years. I've been doing this a very, very long time. I'm happy to sit down with you and we can talk through what that looks like. Okay.
Thank you, Jennifer. Always appreciate your partnership and having you here. Cross country mortgage, I think so. Everybody shoot Don a text real quick and ask him where he is. Just kidding, don't do that. And we have with. I feel like Don will be a good sport about it. Liz Kuzminski, the Leverage Center.
Tori had to leave. I think she had another meeting, but she wanted to let everyone know that if you are interested in holiday cards or holiday marketing, to talk to her sooner rather than later. You want to get on her schedule before it fills up. And then for my side of things, I would just say, I know a lot of people view the months that we're coming up to and kind of the months where real estate slows down. But I just want to point out that that doesn't mean that you should slow down. It's actually the perfect time to start make sure you're continuing to make those phone calls, so that you're getting those deals, so that when the market picks back up in the spring, you're not left behind. It's also a great time for you to work on your systems, and making sure that, again, once things pick up in the spring, that you'll be ready to go, that your systems of how you're handling everything are top notch. And while you're developing those systems, I would love to be part of them, to make sure that you and your clients have the smoothest transaction possible. As well as, I would be more than happy to sit down and talk to anyone about any other systems that they're looking to develop. Because the more you can systematize things, the easier everything will go, the smoother it'll go, and ultimately the more deals that you'll be able to do.
Preach. Thanks, Liz. Appreciate you. I'll throw in there too, just a reminder. This is just top of mind because I saw a report yesterday for Canva, our enterprise level Canva that we're offering all Keller Williams agents at no cost right now. We're only 14% utilization from transferring to Canva. So like 100 and whatever dollar a year Canva Pro that you would normally have to pay for, you get that free now as well. Tori can walk you through how to transfer your old Canva to the new Canva. And there's baked in like Keller Williams marketing as well. And it also works with the MLS. So like our enterprise level Canva will talk to the MLS. So if you want to do marketing for a listing, you just type in the MLS number, unless that's how to handle listing. It'll pull that listing off the MLS, and you'll see the photos right in Canva. No more downloading photos, uploading to Canva. It's just all very, very seamless. So cool. Thanks, Liz. And then Wesley Croft for our mindset minute.
I'll try to keep it to a
Come
minute.
on up, Wes.
I'm gonna ramble for a second.
Okay. Is it gonna be more than a minute today?
Time me, we'll see. Okay, who can tell me what the Pareto principle is? Anybody?
20% of your actions, 80% of your results.
Okay, so 20% of your actions lead to 80% of your results. Is that what you just said?
Although there's no theories around that, and it's been tweaked, so.
Hey, a potato farmer can't have it wrong, right? It's gotta be that, right? So, I've been, if you've been in my group coaching session over the last few weeks, like I've had this on my mind constantly. Is this principle, right? So 20% of your actions will lead to 80% of your results. So as real estate agents, a lot of us want to live in this 80% for whatever reason, because we think what movement equals achievement. So anything that we're doing, right, as long as we're staying busy, we're actually making money. Is that true or not? No, it's not true. Here's the problem though. How many of you wake up in the morning and like want to go do realtor things? Notice that nobody's hand is up. Put your hand down, you liar. No, we don't. And why is that? Because I think we've got this a little bit wrong. I think we don't need to start with actions. What we need to start with is identity. Okay, what do I mean by that? So when you wake up in the morning and you're like, hey, what should I do when I get to my desk in the morning? Well, what should the answer to that question be, Brian?
Lead gen.
Well, it could be lead gen, right? But the real thing is, what do you need to start to focus on from an identity standpoint to be a good real estate agent?
I am a good real estate.
Right. And so if you are a really good real estate agent, then I need to do what really good real estate agents do, right? So if you're not identifying as a agent that sells 30 homes a year, then guess what's going to happen? You're not going to do the actions, and it's not going to lead to the results. So let me ask you a question. I'll ask you, have you ever sold 100 homes in a year?
No,
At your current level of thinking and mindset right now, could you go sell 100 homes next year?
current level, no,
No, why not?
because I don't identify as an agent who sells 100 homes right now.
Right, so you don't have the systems in place nor the mindset in place to actually do that. But if you changed it and started to identify as a high producing 100 home a year agent and put the systems in place to do it, could you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. But it requires a shift in your identity, right? So your identity is going to lead to belief, right? That you can actually do the thing that you want, which is going to lead to the actions. And then you're going to get the results that you want. And then guess what happens? Your results are just going to reinforce what you already believe to be true and what you already identified as. So this week, what I want you guys to think through, especially as it comes to the end of the year, what do you want your year to look like next year? Do you want to be an agent that sells twice as many homes as you sold this year? If you do, then what sort of identity do you need to take on to become that agent? Is it, well, I'm not consistent, therefore I can't do it. Well, why don't you change that to say, hey, I am someone who's consistent. I do follow through. And when you're consistent and you do follow through, guess what actions are going to take place? You're going to follow through. You're going to do the things that are necessary to sell the number of houses that you want to sell and make the amount of money. So, and then it's just going to self-reinforce as you start to sell more and more houses. So anyway, that's okay.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Appreciate that. That word that always sticks out to me is belief. Like believing that you're an agent that can do the things that those types of agents do. So always love having Leslie around. All right, so that brings us to our main talking point today. I am honored and lucky to have a friend, dear friend of mine, Jeremy Oles, with us today to talk about what it looks like to become your local listing expert. So Jeremy's done a great job of positioning himself in the Ohio City market as one of the go-to agents in that area. And so we're going to have a conversation around what the behaviors were that got Jeremy to that space. Because show of hands, who wants to be the go-to expert in whatever area you want to sell? Yeah,
Pick a different area.
Everyone, yeah. Just by being here with us today and listening to Jeremy, you have to. No one in here is allowed to sell a home in Ohio City for the next 18 months. I think that's what we agreed on. Okay, perfect. So, but thank you, Jeremy, for being here. I appreciate you being willing to share your expertise and just like throwing this out there for Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan. Like one of the reasons it's easy for me to recruit to our brokerage is because our top agents like Jeremy are not selfish with the things that they've learned and the insights that they have and the behaviors that they do to do a lot of business. And so I'm just always very grateful, especially after talking to agents at other brokerages who aren't in that type of a culture, how willing that we are all to share, those types of things. So appreciate you for doing that. So great. So let's get started. So got a list of questions for Jeremy today. We're gonna bang some of these out, as many as we can in the next 25 minutes. So what were some of the most impactful things, Jeremy, that you've done to position yourself as a trusted name or the trusted name in the Ohio City neighborhood?
I think it all starts with market knowledge and, knowing your market, knowing the inventory, getting in front of people, attending block club meetings, community meetings. Those are really big in Ohio City. If you're in the inner city, being, if it's Ohio City Incorporated hosting annual meetings or safety meetings, meetings on new developments happening, getting to those meetings, hearing what people have to say, being present, being seen there. And then block club meetings, I've always print out sales data. Here's what sold this, the last 3 months in the neighborhood. Neighbors would print out a bunch and bring people to take them, and they just see my name and know anything about information.
Yeah, I love that. I know like what it's like to be at. I was just at my church on Sunday for a soup cook-off thing, and I'm sitting with people at my table, and just because I live in Lakewood, people expect me to know like every home that ever gets listed in Lakewood, and I'm not on the MLS enough. And I'm always just like so embarrassed when they're like, "Oh, did you see those 4 homes that got listed on Lake Road by such and such?" And I'm like, I can't lie and say yes. I go, "Oh, tell me about that," because
Yeah.
So the more you're in the data, the
Yeah.
more you know, the more educated you're going to come across. So question about mistakes. What mistakes do you see agents make when trying to position themselves as a local expert now?
I see people like branding, when they're brand new, expert in this neighborhood or this area, and they don't know the neighborhood yet. I would say, don't fake it till you make it. It's terrible advice. I would, learn the stuff. Go to open houses, tour as many homes as you can.
Yeah.
Before you start marketing yourself that way, because if you don't have that knowledge, and aren't aware of what's happening, what's sold, what makes this home, 250 a square foot versus 300 square foot, you're going to get called out, and people see through that. So I would say arm yourself with the knowledge and learn the market first.
Yeah. Kind of setting yourself up to fail if you do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, fake it till you make it. You've heard that, but I think it's in this instance, it's not good advice.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Your clients don't just see you as an agent, Jeremy. They see you as the local expert and trusted advisor. How did you build that level of hyper local knowledge to make sure everyone knew that you had it? So kind of a tactical question around some specific things that you did.
Again, being in front of people, like once I had the knowledge, so getting there, touring, every time a home would come up, getting inside that home, looking around, like, okay, what else is sold? What's the sales history? Looking at each street, like where I practice in Ohio City heavily, there's, each street is very different. You have a lot of old homes. Some are built in the 1850s, which is insane. Some are, 1900 and 1890s. And some streets have beautiful trees. Some have, real small, tiny little shacks. Some don't have driveways. Some do. Knowing what makes, each street a little bit different, where the new development's going on. Traffic patterns. When I bought my house there in 07, there was a RTA bus used to run down Bridge Avenue, and I didn't know that when I bought it. It was insane. At midnight, there's a loud ass bus going down the street. That stopped, but just knowing the little, intricacies of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
In and out, and being out and being present with people and getting to those meetings, and people start asking,
Yeah.
what's going on in the market, how's the market, like anywhere, but like you said, they're asking about specific homes that's gone on, and if you've been in that home. Or sold that home, sold the next door neighbor home, you can start, talking about it.
Yeah.
Seeing, like the expert.
Yeah, I love that. I always like approach things as a client, right? So like, if I had an agent who I'm, going to a showing and seeing a house and the agent tells me, hey, just so you know, an RTA bus is gonna drive by this home at midnight every night, like that, like what agent knows that kind of data, right? Like, we're always trying to figure out ways to separate ourselves from the competition. Like, that's crazy hyper local data that a lot of people just don't know.
Yeah,
A lot of agents just
where
don't
the
know.
parks are, where the corner stores are, all that kind of stuff. And it, helps when you live in the neighborhood,
Yeah,
and you should have it tied to the neighborhood.
yeah,
You want to specialize,
yeah,
not just like, oh, it's a huge price point, that's where I want to be. That's great, but, it might help that if you live there or property there, or used to live there or something, some kind of tie to the neighborhood.
yeah, I love that. So a little bit about specifics. Can you share an example of a time that your local expert directly helped you win with a client, buyer or seller?
A lot of times, this thing comes up, just knowing, you know, who the neighbors are. If you've been in these homes enough, oh, I remember your neighbor's home sells every 2-3 years, 'cause it's a small house, and like, yeah, we've seen a lot of people live there, and anything about their home, like, oh, there's those vacant lots down the street, we're gonna be building later this year. Or that development didn't happen because of this. You guys have that double lot, that's gotta be really valuable. How have you enjoyed that? You're the only one on the street that has a double lot. Has there been challenges with these easements and little things like that, and just talking about the different homes that you're aware of and other homes that have sold, and they might ask you, so you better be prepared if they know about it.
Yeah.
They might live there, but you should still know that information too, so bringing it up, and they'll be impressed, the more knowledge you have like that of the 10 streets. And then one of these homes where I'm selling, they're old, like I said, so if like, oh, that basement, they had a collapsed wall, they had all that waterproofing you probably saw last year. If you had these issues, I own a old home too, and I deal with this, and you guys had that, you build rapport, and they can see that you understand the challenges of owning an old home in an old historic neighborhood.
Yeah, sure. What's one way, Jeremy, that you showcase your neighborhood knowledge during a listing presentation? So you're going on a listing presentation in 4 days from now. Like, what's the research that you do to prepare for that? And then when you're in the listing appointment, how do you showcase that?
A lot of stuff we just talked about, but then also if I, headed toward any of the new inventory, I'm gonna make sure I get in there, the day before that day. And all the competing homes, I'll review the recent solds. And then, there's some stuff you just can't tell by looking at, looking at photos on the MLS, how many times you walk into a home and look beautiful in the photos, and the trim is just, it looks shoddy. Basic Home Depot vanities, it smells like dog or cat, dampness, and it's not the home that looked like online. And then they're thinking, based on our comps, like maybe their home's not that nice. When you get inside and say, well, this one was pristine, this was a 10. How do you rank your home? Is yours a 10? And this said that, well, it's maybe a 7. Okay, well, this was priced here because it was a 10. So where does yours maybe fall in line, and knowing what makes the other one a 10 and what makes theirs a 6, 7, or 8.
Yeah, oh my gosh, and being able to have that knowledge saying, hey, like, these are the 3 homes that are on the market right now, they're gonna compete with yours when it gets listed, and I've already toured them, and I can tell you, this was a cheap flip, this is a 10 out of 10. And this one needs.
And your third bedroom doesn't have a closet, which is what we call acceptable in the marketplace in some of these neighborhoods, or might be okay for an appraiser or a marketing standpoint. But if the other home had a huge third bedroom, that's a big difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if they need to put a kid in there or work full time from home.
Yeah, for sure. Well done. Thank you. Sellers often interview multiple agents. I'm sure we've been in that situation before. How do you position yourself as the go-to expert so that you stand out from the other agents you're competing with?
A lot of what we just talked about, but also knowing the competition, knowing who I might be going up against too, the competition of the homes and who I'm gonna be going up against. Showing them, my track record and how long I've been doing that in that neighborhood. And then showing them the map too, when I'm not just throwing a dart like, this price seems right. How I arrived there, well, you guys have a 1-car garage, these other comps had a 2-car garage or no garage, you make adjustments there. A double lot, what are the homes around there? So in the city, you can have new construction that's really nice, or you can have a home with a tarp that's been on the roof for 3 years. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Or chickens in the next door neighbor's yard. Or you can be on a busy cut through street. But showing that to show my math, like here's how I arrived at this price. And I guarantee most of the time agents are not showing the math, they're just kind of coming up with a price.
Yeah.
Feels good and dollar per square foot in my neighborhood is it's not that useful of a tool when you
Yeah.
have tiny little homes that are 900 square feet, or you have tax abated 2,500 square foot homes. So very different price points.
Yeah.
$700,000 to 190,000. You can imagine a dollar per square foot, it really ranges. So it's not as useful. So if I know they're gonna have, say they're a 130-year-old house, I'm gonna pull up homes from 1850 to maybe 1950. They're not gonna be comparable to the new construction. So
Yeah.
that's where the dollar per square foot you kind of narrow in. It's still maybe not as applicable as, might be a Westlake development.
Yeah, gotcha. If I ever list a house in Ohio City, I'm gonna partner with you. That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
So people know your face, your name, and your voice in the market, Jeremy. What specific branding or marketing moves make the biggest difference in your business?
I think for me, it's been more about being active, like I spoke about being active in the neighborhood and being out and about, being seen. Whether it's open houses or whether community events, I think I could have done better with like social media branding, things like that. Just being, out and about and present. For me, that's worked.
Yeah.
But there's now with social media, it's grown and grown and grown. So there's a lot more you can do to assist yourself and attack like neighborhood groups. And I've asked people if I see something in one of the community groups, Ohio City community, looking for an agent, I'll reach out to all my friends and past clients and say, drop my name, please.
Yeah.
And sometimes that works, sometimes there's, other people that are allowed, but that's okay. But
Yeah.
anything you can do to
Yeah.
get a
Can't
leg
hurt.
up, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Let's see.
Or if you already have Raven fans already doing it, and then I see my name tag, so it's like, okay, they're doing it for me now, I'm like trying to tell other people. Get on,
Yeah.
help us.
Yeah. Similar question. You built quite a few fans in Ohio City. Is there a quote unquote secret sauce for nurturing those relationships of your past clients and referrals so that your name comes up in conversation?
When I'm doing it right, being consistent with calls, texts, notes, getting to parties and events. I've got 2 little ones, so it's hard to sometimes I'll just go to these events the way I'd like to. But like make time for that kind of stuff and, stay consistent with all the stuff you should be doing, whether it's for a neighborhood farm or being just referred by your database. I think being in touch with people and being in front of them.
Yeah.
So your name comes up when they're thinking like, oh, real estate,
Yeah. Would you say the majority of your business is from like sphere and referral?
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah. I knew that. I just wanted to make sure.
Yes.
With market shifts happening, Jeremy, what numbers or trends do you pay closest attention to right now?
Days on market, because people are still shocked, and maybe a little less now than maybe 3, 4, 5 months ago, but days on market growing, the amount of homes, I mean, there's like 40 homes, I just looked before we hopped in here. 40 homes on the market, some of these are new construction, so let's say
Sure.
30 homes on the market in Ohio City. That's a lot, that's just single family homes, so not condos or multifamily. It's a lot of homes sitting, so, 3, 4 years ago, we were dealing with what, 5 to 10 days on market at most,
Yeah.
There's not more than a handful of homes in any area. There's a lot of stuff sitting, so you know, preparing a seller. Say, hey, might not sell the first week, you know, here's what the data is showing. Do you need to sell right away? Well, then here's where we need to be priced. Homes that are at this price point might take a few weeks longer to sell, or a few months longer.
Yeah,
If you want to price aggressively, or have at least the, you know, the schedule for price reductions, but days on market, knowing the competition, and seeing kind of what is selling and what's not, you know. And once in a while, it doesn't hurt to take a seller through, show you're committed to them, like, this is a long-term relationship. Why don't we schedule time this week to go tour a few homes that are on the market right now, and see what's out there, how your home might compare.
yeah.
Yeah.
Pick your biggest competition and then
Mhm.
go see those 2 or 3 homes.
Right.
Yeah, I love that idea. I'm definitely stealing that. Thank you. Last question before we take some questions from the audience. What are your plans for 2026 for growing your dominance and taking even more market share in those neighborhoods?
More social media and more higher level open houses in the neighborhood. Doing more to prepare. I'll usually have, you know, a decent amount of signs and it'll go up earlier in the MLS and Zillow and all that, but I know I need more signage and doing a little more to prepare, so you can follow the sellers, the other neighbors. You know, it's great to meet buyers, but I'm finding that's even a little more challenging now. I don't know what it is. It's a settlement a year later, but I feel like buyers, they might come meet you without an agent, that's great, but they seem a little more reluctant to sit down and do a consultation than they ever have been. So you still want to meet buyers, but impress the seller. So, or signage and, wow, look what this guy does for an open house.
Yeah.
Instead of just sitting up there with a check signing sheet and you're there for 2 hours and blocking up early, which I'm guilty of, I've done it.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming through, but you got activity and you've generated action, it's a lot easier to be present the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. Can I ask a little bit more specific around open houses? Because I know there's few agents in the room that's part of their 2026 is doing open houses. So when you say like a higher level open house, what do you mean by that? Like, are there certain strategies that you're planning on doing for your listings that are gonna get you some more clients?
So more signs, putting signs out maybe earlier in the week, directionals.
Yeah.
Inviting neighbors, door knocking neighbors.
Yeah.
You can just door knock, you don't have anything to hand out, you can hand out a flyer for the open house. I printed out little invitation cards before. Takes time, but you know, I think it's worth it, especially, you know, what else are you gonna be doing? If you wanna pick a couple pillars of how you're gonna generate business, I think that's a good one. You can always work if there's no traffic at your open house, you can work while you're there. But door knocking neighbors and set more signs. If it's gonna be a really spectacular listing, you can invite, you know, food truck or something. I mean, I haven't gone that far yet.
Yeah.
But I've had like a community open house before where we brought in food. Had music going, invited everyone I knew in the neighborhood to show up and turned into a little party at the
Yeah.
house. It was like a neighbors only kind of thing.
Cool.
So that was really cool. I'd like to do that more.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, opportunity to pick your neighbors. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Mhm.
Cool. So that's the end of my questions. I would like to open it up to questions from the audience. Tracy.
How do you?
Someone else, please. Yeah,
Someone with a good question.
Oh. You talk with your sellers about
About what price?
price improvement, so you talk to them during the list implementation.
Yeah, I think there's a heavier emphasis on it if they're pushing back on your price. If it's my price, it's a little harder to kind of, you know, we'll talk about it, say, here's where I think it should be, and if I'm wrong, the market's gonna tell us right away. And right away used to mean, honestly, like a few years ago, it was like, oh, a few days, a week, like we're not getting showings. Now it's a little harder because
Yeah.
everything's sitting a little longer. So I think you have to kind of know that area, what's moving fast and what is longer on market mean in that area. So but setting an expectation, like we're gonna have this talk in a week or two, whatever that time frame is you lay out. And you know, we should be getting, expect a certain amount of showings, and this amount of time, if we're not there, you know, just know that we'll be revisiting this, so it's much easier to make that call then. So they know they're doing a weekly check-in. I don't think we need to do anything this week, but if we don't have anything, significant increase in showings or an offer by next week, we'll need to revisit that.
Thank you. Stephanie?
With homes sitting on the market longer and when people have to purchase and sell at the same time, are you starting to have different conversations of, you know, they don't want to list their house because they're scared, they're not gonna be able to find anything, but once you get under contract with something, they want you to sell your house in 2 weeks, and that's not really applicable anymore, so do you start to have the conversation, listen, homes are sitting on the market longer, it's better if you list your house first.
Yeah, I think you always push to get their home on the market.
Right.
And then I've never had, I tell sellers this, I've never had a seller end up homeless. Come close a few times, but I think there's so many options now with Airbnbs and rent backs and, you know, tools. Yeah, I think I always aim, you know, opt for getting the home on the market as soon as we can. And then there's a lot of options out there, at least in the areas I hear. I mean, talking to other agents, sounds like maybe there's not as much inventory, but where I'm working, there's a lot of houses for sale. So I think get it on the market and know, like, you got to get it sold. So get it under contract and you should be looking, right? You know, I think some sellers, if there's higher days on market, they may be willing to take that contingent offer that they've been sitting for 60 to 90 days.
Good question. It's a different volume than it was 2 years ago.
6 months ago.
Yeah, yeah. Other questions? Kelly?
Jeremy, it's crazy. I remember like I'll explain a house in Ohio City. I'm like, oh, kind of weird nation has blue shutters, then you'll name the exact house I'm talking about.
It's a little creepy, yeah.
Did you learn that like over time, walking the street, like coffee shop?
Oh, yeah, walking, riding my bike, driving, going to parties, open houses, homes for sale. Yeah, I mean,
Maybe door knocking before the open house?
yeah, just being there every day. Lived there for a long time and working and living in the neighborhood, just seeing who lives where and, you know, selling homes. I'm like, oh, I've hung out at this home. I've had dinner here. I've been to parties around I sold this house before you guys lived here and, you know, but just, yeah, being around and day after day.
Good question, Kelly. Anybody else? Questions? Stephanie?
When do you ever learn what's going on in the community, as far as building, and you mentioned that, but do you learn that at your sales meetings or do you go online or at your city meetings?
Following a lot of the community forums like on Facebook, Facebook and then a lot of these blogs, like Neotrans blog is really good. You just learn about, you know, what builders are doing what, and just when I'm there, I'm driving around, taking extra time, driving down the streets and seeing what new signs might be up for a development, or is there an excavator somewhere, you know, looking for that kind of stuff. You know, I'm not like driving around looking for excavators, but driving around, you see that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. West Side Buzz is a good one for West Side suburbs. If you subscribe to that newsletter, they seem like they always know like what new developments are coming. Like months before I used to, before I started reading that. I don't know how far west they go, but like Lakewood, River, Bay, Westlake, like I've seen some stuff in there for Avon, Florida, so.
Do we know if there's some type of government website you could go to look or not?
Guess question for the room. We know of any? Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah. Probably not a bad idea to create and build relationships with builders and commercial developers for those types of things too. They probably have like marketing and mailing lists or stuff like that. I get stuff from Hovnanian all the time asking me to go to brokers tours and stuff like that because of a lender introduction from a year ago. So good question. All right, well, that brings us to the end of our sales meeting today. Can we give a warm thank you to Grammy? I wanna be like you when I grow up, so I wanna know my neighborhoods, yeah. Yeah, so thank you guys for being at the sales meeting today, greatly appreciate it, hope you found value in it, and stay tuned for the November sales meeting. Cool?